Hey folks, Elaine Marolakos Edelson with take two. Hey folks, Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo. I want to help you get your mojo back. And we're going to be looking at um, Jupiter today. So let me make this a little bigger so that you can actually see it. There it is. I hope you're all doing well. Come say hello to me. Okay. Whether you're watching this live or in a replay, please remember to like, share, subscribe. This way, my algorithms go up and it gets put in front of more people and more people can benefit. You know what? You don't need to see me. What? Oh, there we go. Okay. So, what we're looking at today is Jupiter. Jupiter in Gemini, and it's squaring the North Node, and it's squaring the South Node. And South and North Node are always opposite. South and North Nodes are not planets or orbs or asteroids. They are calculations, mathematical calculations between how the moon travels around the Earth at the intersection that the Earth travels around the sun. So these cross points. And so the North Node represents the door to your future, where you want to be heading. Now, about every 18 months, the nodes change signs. So I want you to look back about 18 years when the North Node was in Pisces. Now, if you were born with the North Node in Pisces, the North Node being what gets you excited about your future? Where do you want to take it? If you were born with the North Node in Pisces, it's time for a spiritual awakening. If you were born with the North Node in Virgo, it's time to make that spiritual awakening practical because the Pisces Virgo axis will always be that. Libra, Aries, Pisces, Virgo, Scorpio, Taurus, so when the nodes are switching signs, as they do approximately every 18 months, there's a part of you, it's not because that this is happening to you, but there's a part of you that says, I got to do something different. So wherever the North Node in Pisces is showing up in your chart as a transit over your natal chart, it is showing you the places where you're opening up to your intuition, to higher sources, to working with starseed, interdimensional beings, with awareness of how you can promote your talents practically, but making the foundation energy so that you have this idea that, I am a biological creature and I am also a spiritual being. So as I merge the two, and what I like to call marry biology with divinity, this is the prime example with North Node in Pisces, as it is also conjuncting within 8 degrees of Saturn in Pisces. So Saturn would be practical, Pisces spiritual. North Node, the open door to the future, in Pisces spiritual. Now, spiritual can mean many things to many people. It can be learning how to astral project. It can mean understanding that you're not just a mind. It's not just about your mind. It's more than that. So consider these things. Hey, Shelley, you made it. Yay. I'm glad you're here too. So with spirituality being a definition for some, meaning opening up to a connectedness to higher source. For others, it's religion. For others, it's understanding the relationship you have to nature, because everything is spiritual. People say, oh, ugly things are not spiritual. But if people who are source, an extension of light, you're an extension of light. You're here now on this earth in biology as an extension of light. You are spiritual. And if you do something that causes harm, that's also spiritual. Spiritual doesn't mean that it's higher, mighty, divine, compassionate. We'd like to think it does because most of us come from that place. But everything is spiritual. So if you don't like what you see, and that's what I say, with North Node in Pisces, always opposing South Node, but it's in Virgo now. Look to see where that is in your chart, because what's getting triggered now with these squares, and squares represent, it's a 90-degree angle in astrology. And it's like, what is that? That's hurts. It ouch. It's like sitting on something uncomfortable. So you look around and say, okay, where is my transiting Jupiter in my chart? In Gemini. Wherever Gemini is right now, Jupiter's at 22 degrees. It's soon to be entering the sign of Cancer, the constellation of Cancer. And when it does for 12 months, it's going to feel like a jolt, a shift into something less brainiac. Gemini energy would be, oh, what's that? What's that? I want to do that. I don't get that. Let me figure that out. Let me be up all night trying to work the problem or find the solution. Or I don't want to. I just want to, have squirrel brain, shiny penny. What's that over there? What's that over there? When Jupiter, the planet that represents the part of you that loves to expand and be gregarious and be lofty, yes, it deals with publishing as well, Jupiter, and travel and expansion and being a part of what you really love so that you can make it happen in this world. So when Jupiter has been in the sign of Gemini Jupiter traverses a sign or constellation for 1 year. Sometimes it retrogrades back and goes forward. It might be 11 months, 13 months, but essentially it's 1 year. And when it's in a particular sign, all you have to do is look back approximately 12 years, because it fills the quota, it goes around the wheel, and there's 12 signs. So go back about 12 years and say, what was expanding in my life? What needed to expand in my life? What was happening in my world? And did it deal with spirituality, religion, philosophy, contracts, business, travel, foreign affairs, downloading spiritual information, meditating more, astral projecting, understanding the nature of being? Did it deal with me being too loud, too big, eating too much, drinking too much, too often? What are the excesses and what were the desires approximately 12 years ago? For me personally, publishing. And what I'm about to do now is the first 3 books that I've written in my Sign of the Time series, One Soul's Epic Journey Through 12 Lifetimes. I've gone through many years of writing, editing, sending it out to editors, designing the book covers. Now I have 3 books ready to go for Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. And then the 4th book is now coming through for Cancer. And so as this one soul travels through different lifetimes and different cultures and religious political backgrounds, I am now faced with, okay, now I got to get the things out. What's the order of things? So you want to look at, and that's what I was doing 12 years ago and 13 years ago. I published a book 13 years ago. So now I'm going to go to the next level. You see what I'm saying? So look back 12 years. What were you doing? Why were you doing it? What was your motivation? Because now, right before we move into with Jupiter moving into the sign of Cancer in July, I'm sorry, wait, is it June? Hang on. June, yes, June 9th. June, it's just a couple of weeks away at the time of this recording. So where's it going to take us? It depends on where you want to go. Where do you want to go? How do you want to expand? Or how do you want to curb those excesses so that you can expand inward and be more of who you are without the facade, the defenses, the postulation? I know someone who is very science-based, went to school for that, medical areas, and is a professed, I need the proof. I need the proof. And yet this person came to my house before I knew them, came to my house, and as they were talking about something, before I really knew them, and we had just met like weeks prior, they came to the house, social visit. And in my mind, I heard ginger ale. Now, I don't drink soda, but this was years ago. Um, but Dean had a ginger ale in his refrigerator, my husband. And I just, while this person is talking, I went over this science professed person who has degrees and needs physical evidence. I walked over while he was talking. I went over to the refrigerator, got the can of ginger ale, opened it up, cracked it open, a cold one on top of ice, and then put the glass down and just slid it right in front of him. And he stopped talking and he looked at the glass and he looked at me and he looked at Dean and he said, "How did you know I wanted a ginger ale?" And I said, "It just happens sometimes. Like I see things and hear things," which he had known about me. And then, yeah, kind of blew his mind. So with Jupiter moving into from Gemini to Cancer, this juncture in June is going to feel like you are expanding on something you put on the back burner, or you put conditions on and you didn't meet those conditions, or you did and now you're ready to go to the next level. Like maybe you learned how to speak a new language 11, 12, 13 years ago. And now you're saying, you know what? Now I'm going to go for like a trip and I'm going to go to Mexico and Costa Rica because I know how to speak Mexican and Spanish. And I am going to really immerse myself in the culture and go do something that I've always wanted to do, like study botanicals or something. So it's the thing that nurtures you is what's coming. The thing that you've been thinking about and wanting to get out into the world. It can be a proposal. It can be like I've always, I'm saving my pennies. Someone said to me, "I'm saving my pennies to go to Australia. Really, it's been years. I want to go." And it's like, well, maybe now's the time. Where's Jupiter in your chart? So because Jupiter in Gemini, now I'm just kind of talking so fast. You had brain surgery 12 years ago, Shelley? All right, everybody, right now, we're going to send Shelley some extra vibes, some extra love, some extra energy, because that is gone now. And now the conduit that you are is opening to the universe even more right now. And the one thing that's going to stop you is thinking that you can't do it, that you're not, it's not the right conditions. So just keep that in mind. No pun intended. And study neuroscience if you're not already. When Jupiter in Gemini squares the south node in Virgo, Gemini is guided by Mercury. Gemini is an air sign. Virgo is an earth sign, also guided by Mercury. And the difference is that the Virgo energy is a little bit more practical in its application sometimes, a little bit more judgmental of self and critical of self or others sometimes, and has the need to move just as much as a Gemini. Oh, let's go travel. Oh, let's go down there. Hey, there's a craft show next weekend. It's only an hour away. Let's go. So think of these things and say, where do I get stuck in a brain loop where I just keep talking about what needs to change, how it has to happen, what do I do? And then you build up all this anxious energy, and it needs to be expended. Like static electricity, no such thing, because electricity is never static, right? But it's an oxymoron. So what happens with static electricity, and this is how I would describe Jupiter and Gemini squaring South Node in Virgo. You're building up momentum, like you're walking across a carpet in winter. You're building up the electricity. It's not moving yet. It hasn't made contact because the shoe and the rubber sole and the carpet are creating friction. And there's an energy that's building. And as soon as your hand or your skin, your foot, your elbow, whatever, makes contact with another surface, boom, you get a shock because it has to expend itself. It has to charge. So what have you been building up in your mind that says, no, that's it. I got to clean out the garage. That's it. Let's go. I'm calling Salvation Army right now. Come with your truck or whatever. Or I got to get that business started. It's not going. Okay, well, maybe the marketing's not working. In marketing, by the way, if you are starting a business or trying to promote your business, it's never about what you want. It's what they need. So do market research. Ask your people, what would you like to see? What would you like to have? How would you like to learn? What is it that you are needing, wanting, and desire? And then craft your marketing around that in order to present it to them. So then you're speaking to their needs, their pain, their desires. Oh, how many times you wake up in the morning and, you have a headache. It's like, oh, what happened? What did I do the night before that gave me a headache? And so when you can answer these questions for people, you're providing a service. So with Jupiter in Gemini squaring South Node in Virgo, provide the service that moves away from the pain. If you're marketing and business, South Node represents been there, done that, toxic, gotta go, moving on. And it doesn't have to be negative. It can be, I finished something. I took a course in herbology and now I'm ready to make products. That would be putting your wares in a spiritual, oopsie, I was pointing to the wrong thing. Here we go. South Node, Virgo, squaring Jupiter, Gemini. Also, Jupiter and Gemini squaring North Node in Pisces. What's the delay? How do you want to put that thing into motion? With Jupiter squaring South Node, we have to let go of what doesn't serve us. And that starts with thoughts. Mercury. It starts with how you think, not communication as in I open my mouth and I bibbity chatter chitter, yakety yak. It's about what are you thinking and how that creates a vibration and an energy that creates then a physical manifestation. So because Jupiter is squaring the North Node, this is the open door. You got your hand on the doorknob and you're rattling the door and it's like, it's not opening. See, I knew it. And you look back, South Node, and say, I knew it wasn't going to happen. Didn't feel right. Wasn't the time. Maybe it was. And you were just, insecure, nervous, unprepared. Maybe it wasn't the right time and you're doubting and questioning yourself. So then you're emitting several frequencies, Gemini. What are you emitting? Is it, I want that? No, I changed my mind. I want that. It's never going to happen. I want that. How am I going to get there? So that kind of vibe, ooh, are we dizzy yet? What's your orbit? What thoughts are orbiting around your brain? That's what we want to look at with Jupiter, Gemini, squaring, North Node in Pisces. Your opportunity awaits, but it's uncomfortable. South Node, your opportunity is to let go and forgive and move on, and it's uncomfortable. So think of these things that you don't want to do. Maybe you can farm it out. Maybe you can hire a part-timer. Maybe you can get a nanny. Maybe you can ask friends. Maybe you can go and say, I'm always think of the opposites. Okay. Because we are looking at opposites here. And that would be, I need to let go of something, a pattern that I have that I no longer value, or I've completed something. Now I must take that energy and transform it. If I've finished a course, now I need to go, what's the next level? Do I start a business because I got a degree? Do I go to the next, year in school, or do I go to university? And so what's the next step going to be for you? Is it, oh gosh, I can't wait any longer. I gotta get my taxes done. What's the next step? Oh God, I've waited, I've tried. It's time to have a baby. I'm 42. What's the next step? And then what are the options? And then get out of your head and say the options are I'm creating my reality. That would be Jupiter in Gemini squaring the North Node in Pisces, saying, I now feel challenged because I want to believe that I'm creating my own reality. I want to believe that I have everything available to me, but I don't have evidence. South Node in Virgo. The criticism, the critical thinking. I don't have evidence. I can't just be like this, namby-pamby, wish it and hope it and then it appears person. Oh, what's the judgment? Ooh, ouch. Why not? Why can't you be that? I choose to believe, as did Einstein, um, that I live in a benevolent universe. So when I'm going through something and I have a hissy fit, I think, okay, is this how I need to be feeling in a benevolent universe? Am I putting out a vibe that would want people to be near me in a benevolent universe? Or am I flipping people the bird on the road because I'm pissed about something that happened yesterday? Yeah, own it. That's it. Just own it. And then once you own it, that's the square. It's uncomfortable. It's like, I need to trust now. Wow. Okay. What can help you do that? Well, feel your feelings, act on the biology. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I'm tired. Take care of that. Because if your biology is not up to par, your spirituality can only go so far. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did. Is this making sense? Who is here with me today? Just a couple people. Please share, like, and subscribe and get the word out, because my whole expression with Jupiter and Gemini is organizing these books for publication, both in print and digital, and not using Amazon. So that's a whole, because I thought, oh, a few years ago, that's where I'm headed. But then, you know what? Amazon takes 55 to 65% of me in those books, and they don't guarantee, and I don't get the list. I can't market to these people. I can't say, how did you like the book? Or I'm going to be doing a workshop. Do you want to join me? I don't get that with Amazon. So I've made the decision, and it was a rough one for me because I thought, oh, so much easier. I'll just throw it out there. But I had to make that decision. So now my husband, thankfully, is a brilliant marketer. So he's going to help me. And I am going to merge my two businesses, astrology with writing and spirituality, even more, so that when it gets out into the world, and if I go to do a book talk, it's not going to be a reading of the page 23. It's going to be, how many Aries are here in the audience? I want to get into it with people and say, what did you like about the book? What didn't you like? That would help me as an author. But also, what spoke to you as an Aries for the first book, or Aries rising, or Aries moon? What spoke to you about the second book for Taurus, sun, rising, or moon? How about you, Gemini? How many Gemini here? Viking Queen in 9th century. And these are historical fiction fantasy books. So there's a lot of historical data in them. And then I made stuff up. It's called fiction. So I had so much fun. And I thought, I'm having so much fun writing these. Why don't I just take it to the next step? I've done so many things between 12 years ago and now to get me here. And I've got 3 books to show for it, and I'm ready to go. So, oh, Shelley, you're so sweet. So what are you proud of for you? Shelley says, yes, I'm so proud of you. You need to get into the parts of you that are ready. What are you waiting for? Physically speaking, we only have so much time on this planet. It doesn't mean you can't come back. You can, but you got to start over. It's like, oh man, I got to crawl. I got to learn to talk. Come on. Why don't I just do it now? That's why I came here. Shelley, Gemini, Cancer cusp. So this is a very momentous period for you, because Gemini, Jupiter and Gemini moving into Cancer. And so when we feel, this whole year really is a pivotal year for some. I mean, we see it in the news here in America. We see it. Oklahoma just passed a law for regenerative, oh my gosh, I can't even say it, for healthy and healing meal programs to get people out of unhealthy states and to have it backed by insurance. What? That's what I'm talking about. To nurture, to pass along to the public, to expand something that supports the system. If you're doing something that does not support your system, eating, smoking, drinking, not a judgment, just an evaluation. It's like, oh, you want to run in the marathon, but you haven't trained. Ouch, that's going to hurt, by marker 500 feet. It's going to hurt. So we have to put ourselves into a gentle training mode so that you don't go all out and hurt yourself physically. Remember, the more that you upkeep the biology, it helps to change the neural pathways in your brain. And then you surround yourself, just like the star that is at the center of our system, our sun, surrounds itself with these beautiful planets. We need to have in our orbit people who support us. If you're on my Instagram page, I just found, oh gosh, I forgot her name. All right, I'll have to post it. But I posted this one particular thing. She's a neuroscientist. And I love Dr. Joe Dispenza for the same reason, because it's about training yourself to move your mind out of the past and to create new pathways in your brain that support the dream that you are creating. You have to lay down the physical tracks to get somewhere. You also have to lay down the spiritual meaning the energetic patterns in your brain that allow you to open the door. Ta-da! Yes, Oklahoma is on the right page. They are. And I'm so proud of the people who are working it. There are people in this world who you look at them and say, how do they do that? I mean, what? How do they? So find a mentor, whether it's on YouTube, in a book, or someone in your town, a local business owner. Find someone and say, I'm happy to pay you for your time if you can show me the basic steps to get to the next level. And whoever you are is who you're going to attract. Think on that. Think on that. Think on that. Because when you feel that you are worthy, you're going to attract the people who see that worth and say, oh, wow, yeah, I'm happy to help. Here's what you don't want to do is say to someone, hey, can I buy you a cup of coffee and pick your brain? Never, ever, ever. No. That person that you admire, had their own pitfalls. They fell into black holes emotionally and physically. They had trials and all that stuff. So honor that. And say to someone, I really admire what you're doing and I want to buy your time. 30 minutes, 45 minutes, what would it take? What does that look like? And start the conversation, begin the dialogue. Now, in other areas, depending on where Jupiter is transiting in your chart, take a look at how you can get over yourself by doing something spiritual. Meditation, a focus, a chant, Deva Premal. I went to see her last night. It was a birthday present from my sister. She was here in town with Miten, her husband. And, for 90 minutes, we just chanted. The whole room chanted. They got the standing ovation when they walked on stage, because when you practice these mantras that are thousands of years old, they're sacred. You don't applaud like at, a Joni Mitchell concert or something, after every song, you don't clap. So there's silence. So everybody knew to stand up and applaud them when they got on stage, and then everybody got quiet. And for 90 minutes, it went on for 4 hours. I had to leave. I needed to get some sleep, but for 90 minutes chanting and loving it and feeling the vibe and knowing that these chants were going out to people, the planet, the earth, myself, to create a higher vibration. Find something that you would consider a spiritual practice. 10 minutes of staring at a candle meditation. Doing a Joe Dispenza online. He's got all these new, his team put together these 17-minute, 20-minute videos just to feel motivated and how to do that with affirmations. Go for it. Because if you don't change something, nothing changes. You know that. There it is. All right, I'm going to pull one card from the Universal Law of Conscious Creation. And let me just get rid of this right now. La, la, la. Do, do, do. I need a haircut. I just startled myself. It's like my bangs, everything's falling in my face. Okay. Universal law of conscious creation. I'm just going to pull a card for us, and then I will see you not next week, but the following week. I will be in meditation next week. Please remember to share, like, and subscribe, and we so appreciate you. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. I took them 3. Reciprocity, inspiration, and oneness in that order. So reciprocity, and is that backwards? All right. It says number 12. Reciprocity is not about, I gave to Jane, now Jane has to give to me. That's not what reciprocity is. Reciprocity is more like, I put a certain energy into the world, and now that energy is coming back to me. What a surprise it'll be when someone you don't expect knocks on the door, sends you an email, gives you a phone call, a text, or you get something passed along by another person. Oh, I thought you might be interested in this. Reciprocity is what you put out, you get back. Okay. The next one is inspiration. And with reciprocity comes inspiration. So that suddenly you're going to be inspired by, oh, somebody told me about a blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, I've been looking for one of those. Now you're inspired. And what does inspiration do? It helps you to be in that state that we talked about for the last 30 minutes. And then when you're in that state of body, mind, spirit connecting, you know what you are? You are one. We are one. We are the world. Come on, let's everybody sing. It's one. Singular sensation. That's us. We are one. So remember, reciprocity. Put out the vibe you want to get back. It will then inspire you to feel like you are whole and at one with yourself and others. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. Blessings. Thank you for being here. I so appreciate you. So much love from my orbit to yours. And I will see you on the, wait a minute. No, I will see you next week on the 15th. I will see you on the 15th, but not the 22nd. Okay, so I will see you next week on the 15th, and I'll have more fun. Bring your friends. All right. Thanks.